Hi folks, welcome back. And as we have seen in the last video, we were successful to understand what this underscore underscore name does. So now it's time to understand some of the basics of Python scripting. That is some of the fundamental data types of the Python, apart from int, char, or bool, or whatever we have learned in our other programming languages. So, but in Python, we have some additional fundamental data types. They are like lists, tuple, dictionaries, sequence, and many more. So let's start one after the another. So let's begin with lists. So I would like to create a new file that's called as py list.py. So this is my new file. So first of all, we have to understand that lists are represented by these square braces. So, and the second important thing, can write it like this. Maybe it's easy to remember. Represented by this one. Second important point is our mutable lists are mutable objects. Mutable objects, which means they can elements in the list can be deleted or can be added, etc. You can do any operations on them. The third important point about lists are that they are very easy to use, and they are used widely. Like if you have already experience with Python, then you might have encountered how many times you use lists in most of your code. So let's begin by creating a first list. I create a list by, let's say, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And another very important thing to know about lists is lists can have items, sorry, for items of any type. Items of any type. For example, integer, float, string, etc., which we see now. Example. So we have a list of numbers. Let's create another list, which is, let's say, some name of the countries: India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and let's say Germany. Okay. Okay, some more, let's say Iran, for example. Okay, whatever. So these are the two lists now. And now I would like to do some operations on the lists. So we call this as with a special term called methods. So there are some list methods which we will discuss. They're very, very important while you're writing a big codes, long codes, because you don't have to do simple operations. You don't have to keep writing for loops and iterate to find some solution. For example, if I have to find what is the count of elements or the items within this list, so for now it's fine, but if the list is quite bigger, you can't run a for loop to calculate it, because this will slow the whole process. So we have many inbuilt functionalities, many inbuilt methods, which will help you in achieving that. So you don't have to write script for everything. So for example, let's say I would like to append list 1 and list 2. Append is like adding list 2 at the end of list 1, for example. So I do that, for example, list 1, or there is another very interesting way. It's like print L1. No, I'll do it in a simple way. So let's append it. So it's like L1 dot append L2. And I will write it like print L1. So first of all, I would like to print L1 and see what it is. then print L2, how it looks. And in the end, I would like to print L1 appended with L2. So for example, this one. So you see L1 is printed here, L2 is printed here, and I would like to also print L1 appended with L2. So what will it be? It will be like 1, 2, 3, 4. The string remains as the list remains as it is. And this, the entire thing, along with the braces, square braces, it will be appended here. So this is called as list append. And now another thing, you just keep reading these statements again and again while we are working on it. So for example, we can, the lists are represented by square braces. Yes, of course, we have seen it. Lists are mutable objects, that is elements in the list can be deleted, added, or we have seen that we have added this, and we will see also in the future how to delete them or how to insert some elements in the list. And lists can have items of any type, int, float, string. Okay, I can also do this way, just let's say 4.0, then 0.9, for example, and I would run it again. So you see the list one is now updated, and this is how it looks. But you might have observed one thing, that this is appended as it is. That's why it called as append, because it appends list one to list two. So for example, if I wanted everything to be in the same single list, I don't want to have these extra braces here. I would like to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 0.9, and then India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Germany, Iran, whatever, in a simple single list. That's also possible by using called extend method. Okay, so this can be possible. For example, I say like, let me create, or maybe let me reuse this list, for example, L1, because L1 is already now updated. So let me create a new list, something like this with a different name, L3 and L4. And let's say I want to do the same thing. I would say like L3 dot extend L4, print L3. So now let's print it. So now you see the difference. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.0, 0.0.9, and then these brackets are kicked out. So we have India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Germany, Iran, etc., all in a single string. So it all depends on your application, how you want to use it. But these are the different methods you can apply on the list. So let's look to the another very important, that is insert method, which is third method, I would say. Insert. So for example, we have a list, same list, let's say, and I would like to insert somewhere in between here. You see in between 4 and 4.0, I want to have 5 here. Okay, so for that, I would do like L1 dot insert, and I would write the index. So if you know the Python or the list index, it starts with 0. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I would like to have somewhere in between these two, which is the character, which is the number 5. Or let's say I would like to insert a string in between. So I would like to insert India in between 4 and 4.0, for example. So what I do, or I would like to insert a USA in between 4 and 4.0. So I'd like to use the insert method, and I would say like, okay, position 4, it's like 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, it's 4. Okay, the position 4, I would like to write, let's say USA. Okay, and then let's print L1. So you see L1 is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just before 4.0, we have USA inserted, and then the rest continues as it is. So this is a very important one. So maybe use this quite often in your coding when you code long codes, long scripts. So there is another very important thing, that is remove. It removes the first element which is available in the list. So for example, for this, I would like to create, let's say, or maybe I can reuse this list. For example, instead of 4.0, I had 4, and then maybe another 4, and then let's say 5, let's say, for example. And now this is like remove operation. Okay, let's insert. So in the remove operation, what happens is, okay, maybe I copy this now. Okay, so in the remove operation, what happens is at like L5, L6. Okay, I will keep it as it is. So, okay, let me run now. So in the remove, what the remove does, the remove will always eliminate the first element it encounters. For example, if I write L5 dot remove and I write 4, for example, and I print L5, what do you expect? Does this remove all the 4s from here? No, it just removes this 4 and the rest 2 remains same. So for example, if I run it, you see 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 4s as an input, but here we have only 2. So, and 5 remains the same. What if I just change it to 5? So you see, we have only 1 5. Out of 2, we have only 1 5. So the 1 5 is deleted. The first 5 is deleted. So there's another interesting thing which I saw right now. Look at this example. I have like 3 consecutive 4s and 2 consecutive 5s. And now I would like to insert 4 at position 4, that is USA. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is also 4. And then it replaces it with USA. But it does not replace, actually it inserts. So sorry to say that it inserts USA in between. So between these 2 4s, it inserts USA, and don't just confuse like it replaces, but it inserts USA, and then the rest of the 2 4s, I mean, they remain the same. So anyways, so moving further, so let's have a look at the 5th very important method, that is pop. Pop, it's not a pop music or pop song, but pop. So for pop, I would like to take this as an example because we didn't use it. So yeah, let's say L6 is some countries, and I say L6 dot pop. What do you think is going to happen? This will delete or pop up or just like kick out it works something like last in first out. Okay, this mechanism. So the last to enter the list was Iran, so it's first to go out. LIFO, we call it as LIFO. Pop is like LIFO. So I'm writing all these comments, and because I would be pushing this code into the Git, so you can also directly use this script. So I write it as LIFO, that says last in first out. So this is LIFO. So when I run this and I say print L6, you see India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Germany, there is no Iran. Okay, and what if I write, let's say L6 dot pop again? Oops. Yeah, what's gonna happen? So it's gonna pop out with the first pop out will kick out Iran. the second pop will kick out Germany. So when I print L6, we will have only 3, that is India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. So let's execute this and see. See, India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Rest all is kicked out. Okay. So this is how the pop works. The pop basically it works with the last in, first out. There's something like called another very important function method that's called as clear. So I would make this pop something like this. Okay. So the clear, it basically it deletes the entire list. For example, I write for example, I like L6 dot clear. Okay, and I write print L6. So what do you expect? An empty list, right? Exactly. We have an empty list because all the elements from the L6 are now deleted. So if you want to delete, but still you want to retain this one, I mean, if you want to delete the contents or the elements of the list, but you still want to retain this list, then make sure to use clear option. Otherwise, you can just delete it. Like there's also possibility. So coming next, the 7th thing, that is copy. 7th method, that is copy. It returns a shallow copy, which is equivalent to, okay, let's try this one. For example, let's say L, I would copy the same L6. Okay, and I want L6 dot copy. Okay, and this will be like, I'll make it like L7 equals L6 copy, and I print L7. So which will be same as L6. For example, if I print L6, it's the same. So it's a shallow copy. It just copies everything. Yeah, whatever is in the L6. Okay, then so far we have learned so many new things. That is right from some of the very fundamental data types. One of the very important fundamental data types, that is lists or objects, I would say, instead of data types. I think objects would be more promising word. So we have lists, tuples, and many more, but in this video we have discussed about lists. So the lists have many methods, and very most common of these methods I have discussed. So I would like to add another very important thing, that is sort. This is also very important. Let's say how do I do sort operation in list? So for example, L6 dot sort, and I print L6, let's say. So what did this do? This actually looked into the first character of every country here, and it sorted based on that. For example, I, P, S, G in an alphabetical order. G comes first, hence we have Germany first. Then comes India, and why not Iran? Okay, this is a pretty good example. So India, why not Iran? Because right after I, there comes N, and R comes, if you look at A, B, C, D, E, F up to Z, then N comes before R. That's why India gets the priority, and India is in the second position, Iran, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka as usual, because they are alphabetically sorted. Okay, there's another very interesting thing about sort, that is we can also sort it in a reverse order. So that's also possible. That is like sort, and then I write right now I can't remember it. Yeah, it's like reverse equals. See, Python is very intelligent. I mean, PyCharm, in fact, it starts giving me it starts giving me hints. Yeah, basically. So let me run this code again. what did this do? Can you see it now? It just exactly sorted in an opposite fashion. Earlier we had Germany, India, Iran, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, and now it's sorted in a reverse order. So this is also pretty interesting thing. So far I think that's enough for this video. It's gonna be too long. So I hope to see you in the next video. Please do practice this, and if you find anything difficult, please write in the comment section, and please like the video. And I will also have already shared the GitHub link in the description, so you can also directly clone the project. So but before that, please watch my previous videos where I have shown how to clone the project so that you can directly copy from my repository. You don't need to write all these things. So you can just keep executing, and yeah, you can look into the results. Okay, then. So that's it. Thanks for visiting my channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified every time I create something new for you. So until then, stay safe and keep coding.